Nintendo fan went fuming when I said Switch 2 is a 4-year-old console. It is. Technology-wise. Yeah, I mean, it is technology-wise. That's my big sentiment behind it, is it's gonna age poorly. And Nintendo fans are gonna, you know, this is like you with Apple and you with PlayStation, though. Yeah, you know. Say it's not. I mean, Nintendo's still a handheld console that beats PlayStation in that front, doesn't it? There are pros and cons to both, bro. I mean, you're not wrong. That's my biggest concern about what Nintendo's doing, is that it's going to age poorly. I really do think it's going to age poorly. It's going to age just as poorly. This is what's funny. Like, I made a video talking about, and I titled the video, why the Switch 2 will age just as poorly as the original. And people always want to comment without watching the actual content. And people were like, what? It's the, you know, best-selling console in North America. What do you mean age poorly? And I'm like, okay, ding dong, watch the content. Look at what I'm talking about. Technologically, it's aged terribly. Every game on the Switch plays at 30 frames. You know what I mean? It's everything that comes out on that thing looks terrible. It's not to say that there haven't been some amazing feats done with the software that's been released on archaic, at this point, hardware, you know, that the Switch has, because there have been some amazing titles. But would they have been substantially better had the hardware been hardware like you find in a traditional console? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's just a fact of the matter. Whenever you've got a company trying to really balance the line between affordability, power consumption, and, you know, portability, mobile hardware, mobile technology, you end up with what Nintendo has. And they did it with the original. Did it work for them? Absolutely it did. And that's why they're doing it again. But it doesn't mean that it's going to age well. And it doesn't mean that the original aged well technologically, right? It did good for Nintendo. And this one will probably do good for Nintendo as well. But we just had the PS5 Pro launch, and at the very, very best, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be specs-wise around a PS4 Pro. So it is already a generational, technologically, specs-wise, it is a generation behind other consoles on its release. It will not age well in regards to technology. It'll age very poorly, just like the original did. It's just a fact. People that can't see that are blind. They are Nintendo blind. People that can't see that are Nintendo blind. It is a fact. They can argue it all they want. I've had people say stuff like, oh, well, they'll have DLSS now and that'll fix everything. No, it won't. It's not going to fix everything, dude. Okay? It's not. DLSS is not a fix-all. Okay? It's not the way that works. Is it going to be an enhancement graphically on the capabilities of what the, you know, NVIDIA chip in the Switch 2 had over what the Switch 1 had? Absolutely. But it doesn't fix all the issues it's going to have in its aging process. We're still going to have the same exact issues with modern games coming out, being built for modern high-powered technology, and Nintendo wanting to port them to their hardware and having to severely downgrade them to where they look like what Mortal Kombat 1 or The Witcher 3 or Hogwarts Legacy, or the list goes on and on and on and on for those games that they wanted to port over to their old ass technology. In regards to that, the Switch aged terribly. And so will the Switch too.